Hello there, Commonwealth from here. With Pikmin 4 in 2023, the Nintendo Switch has officially the greatest selection and representation of brand new Nintendo games of any franchise, minus perhaps the Super Nintendo. But did the SNES have two mainline The Legend of Zelda games? No, and that begs the following question. What is still missing on the Nintendo Switch over 6 years in? Well, that is what this video is for. So if you haven't already, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe and press that notification bell as we're going for a big subscriber goal and giveaway for the launch of Zelda. Let's begin with the big franchises, as some of these might come as a surprise to some. And since we mentioned Nintendo's third-person action-adventure franchise, let's expand on it. 3D Zelda has not had this solid representation with the same hero on a single system since the Nintendo 64 days of the Hero of Time. And in many ways we are seeing a repetition this time, as Tears of the Kingdom is literally a continuation, or if you prefer the conclusion, of the adventure we played as the hero of the wild in Breath of the Wild. Even so, this strategy has resulted that no new top-down 2D Zeldas have featured on the Nintendo Switch. And this is indeed the first time in Nintendo's handheld history. Yes, we had Link's Awakening, and I'm not saying that the 2D Zelda game might not have been planned this generation, but that the 20th Zelda game and the time it took for this one to be ready might have pushed a new 2D Zelda back. Well, that, Link's Awakening, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and Skyward Sword HD. Continuity in lore should always take priority, but damn, I wish I could have updated the Zelda timeline 3 years ago with another top-down adventure. It probably goes without saying, but many of us Zelda fans miss the top-down adventures despite their simplicity and would want to have them in the middle between each new open-air adventure. I think it is too late for the Switch, but I do sit with a feeling that on the successor we'll get a top-down Zelda adventure prior to whatever comes out of the Tears of the Kingdom in the open-air genre. So well before 2029. I hope, as Square Enix has been doing a great job with reviving the 2D genre with Octopath Traveler and also Triangle Strategy, Link's Awakening on Nintendo Switch, and its amazing sales for being a remake of one of the few Zelda titles without even the title character even present in the game, that 2D Zelda will make a comeback. If not on the Switch, then the next generation. But yes, that is Zelda, and a little dive into the complex situation of 2D Zelda, which hopefully will see a return, and not only in the form of Zelda Maker, because a big part of these games are the carefully crafted quests we go through. Speaking of 2D Super Mario, a genre of Mario that many have considered dead with the two Super Mario Maker titles, split across the Wii U, 3DS and Nintendo Switch. Though I think the death of 2D Mario is greatly exaggerated, as New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe re-release on the Nintendo Switch sold better than Super Mario Maker 2 by this year, and when we look at the numbers, it isn't even close. Hence, it is likely that the new non-Mario Maker 2D Mario games will make a comeback. The big question is whether it will happen on Nintendo Switch or not. For what we know, it could even happen by the end of this year, as it looks like Nintendo might want to keep one new 3D Mario game to Nintendo Switch and save whatever 3D Mario game they're working on after Super Mario Odyssey for the next Nintendo system. After all, we also had Bowser's Fury. As of the writing of this video, we still don't know what the Mario game of 2023 will be. But personally, we only see two options for mainline Mario: a new 3D game or the first brand new 2D platformer since 2012. Yes, it has been well over 10 years since New Super Mario Bros. U, which launched with, well, the Wii U. As previously mentioned, the deluxe Switch version with Peachette, the source of all the Bowsette memes, has performed really well and shown that Mario Maker is not a replacement for the New Super Mario Bros. Series, at least when it comes to sales numbers, as these games simply sell better. That covers 2D Mario. Now over briefly to another franchise which already has a new game on Nintendo Switch when we count the side-scroller format, but still waiting for any footage or release here for that matter when it comes to its first-person equivalent, Metroid, specifically Metroid Prime 4, which at this point is one giant unknown, as we have seen nothing since Retro Studios was given permission to restart the development of the Bandai Namco failed to deliver what Nintendo desired for Prime. Currently, this game is still scheduled for Nintendo Switch, but if the next Nintendo system is out, say, sometime in 2024, then we might quickly end up in the following situation: Nintendo being satisfied with having Metroid Red from 2021 as the Metroid representation on the Nintendo Switch, and pushing Prime 4 to more powerful hardware, as this game is likely to push graphical boundaries, just like the previous Metroid Prime games did. I really want to hear your opinion on whether this game will release on Nintendo Switch exclusively as a dual release between two systems, or simply not release on Nintendo Switch at all in the comments. Alright, that covers the franchises that are still missing a certain type of new installment. Now over to those franchises that have not seen a brand new release during the Switch generation. The biggest of these is naturally Mario Kart, and with the very late ongoing DLC, it is more likely than ever that the Nintendo Switch will be our first Nintendo generation without a new Mario Kart. The best hope here is a dual release of Switch and its successor, either next year in 2024 for the 10th anniversary of Mario Kart 8 Wii U or in 2025. No matter what, it will be the longest wait for a new Mario Kart ever. Onto another franchise that has not had a new game in nearly a decade, Donkey Kong. Now that Retro Studios is busy with Metroid Prime 4, it is unclear which studio could be working on the next Donkey Kong game. The developer situation is probably the biggest hurdle for a new entry of gaming's most famous ape. However, with DK in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, it would be tempting to say that a new game is right around the corner. Though as we stand, we need to be prepared for the scenario where Donkey Kong is one of few of Nintendo's best sellers that could skip this generation and instead come out on the next system. One of the arguments pointing to such a development is that there is a Donkey Kong spin-off movie on the planning at Universal, and we cannot forget that the Donkey Kong section of Super Nintendo World in Japan and Florida will not open until at least 2024. In other words, 2024 might be the year, or will it be on Nintendo Switch or as one of the first big exclusives on the successor? Once again, it is hard to tell, and it really depends on when the work on a new Donkey Kong started, as we know that Retro Studios was handed Metroid Prime 4 most likely in late 2018. Knowing this, a new game should be near completion if development started around 2019. At the same time, we have to keep in mind that a lot of games are coming out a little later due to the difficulties faced by all of Nintendo's own and partner studios in 2020 and 2021. Hence the game might be pushed all the way back to 2024 or later for a new Nintendo system. With that said, some franchises have more rumors tied to the possibility of a release than others. Take for instance Kid Icarus, one of Nintendo's earliest franchises which saw a revival on the 3DS with Uprising, a game that has been brought up a number of times as the next title to receive the Miitopia 3DS to HD Switch treatment. Even so, the likelihood of this being a new installment is limited, and hence we can conclude that Kid Icarus with Pit and Lady Palutena are definitely missing on the Switch when it comes to a new installment. The same can be said about Pilot Wings, which also had its latest entry on the 3DS with Resort, a game with decent reception, but which apparently didn't perform well enough to bring a new installment since 2011. Sadly, at this point we're probably too late in Nintendo Switch's lifecycle to see a new game from this franchise before a successor takes over. Now over to the franchise that had its latest game less than 1 year prior to the launch of the Nintendo Switch. Star Fox, the R-Wing squad, has been completely absent since the underwhelming structure and sales of Star Fox Zero, a game that was supposed to revive the franchise following a long break throughout the Wii generation. And despite having Star Fox Command and Star Fox 64 on the 3DS, Zero didn't go as planned, and as we stand, Star Fox is probably the most likely candidate of Nintendo's major franchises to not have any new game on the Nintendo Switch. No doubt, Star Fox is in limbo, and with Shigeru Miyamoto being busy with Pikmin 4 until the end of this year, I would be surprised if any new Star Fox game is even under development as of the upload date of this video. Fox McCloud and his dogfighting aces are facing a number of struggles, the most obvious of these being the lack of direction. Star Fox Zero was a reimagining of Star Fox 64, blended with Star Fox 2 elements added to the mix, but with very questionable controls. Hence this franchise needs a major shakeup, a brand new quest, gameplay that is just as good as 64, and delivering a game like this will no doubt take time. Hence I see Star Fox skipping the Switch completely and returning on the successor. Good, got the least likely franchise with a new installment as late as 2016 covered. Now over to a franchise that has not seen a new game since Sega brought it to a new level on the GameCube with GX. F-Zero, by many believed to be dead and relegated to being stage, vehicle, and character fodder for current and future Mario Kart titles. It may be the case, but as we saw with Fire Emblem's representation in Super Smash Bros. Beginning from the GameCube, franchises can be revived through other better selling, or if you prefer, more popular franchises. In the case of F-Zero, we sincerely believe that a revival can only happen following another representation of the franchise in the next Mario Kart title. Hence there's no way that F-Zero will return on Nintendo Switch, but there's hope on the next generation. And that is our list of still key Nintendo franchises that are missing new installments, or at least new installments of certain kinds on the Nintendo Switch. Are there any other franchises apart from Golden Sun and Advance Wars that we didn't cover in this video? Then be sure to share them in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe and press the notification bell, as it helps the channel a lot and also helps you to not miss any of our upcoming Nintendo Switch videos. Last but not least, a big thanks to all our great patreon.com/Comeron patrons, and in particular our royal producer Charles Shash. You rock, and please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos.